Hello, 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 and welcome to a very special winter holiday bonus episode of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Van.
Hello.
We are recording on Saturday, December 28th, 2024. On today's episode, we'll be discussing what's been going on so far in the Reigns off-season, as well as any other newsworthy happenings around the league and in WOSO in general. But first, some housekeeping.
The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything we're doing.
Before we get into the show, how has things been for you since
Non-pod life.
I know. How's it been?
Busy.
Yeah. Ramping
Busy.
up for the season.
Yeah, ramping up for USLW season, work, holidays, you know.
Yeah, it's a busy time for many people.
Yeah. Yep. Anything new with you?
I'm a blonde now.
Yeah.
I'm like a true blonde, you know.
I also got a mini mullet.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm like mini mullet blonde now is what I got going on. So, you know, you gotta let people know that you're gay when you're walking around the streets. If it's not already obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we'll get into there's actually been quite a few big happenings for the Reign.
Thank God.
Thank God.
They've done it.
They have done it. They found a score of proven goal scorer
who wanted to come here.
Who did want to come here. And it's none other than the league's leading goal scorer, Lynn Rainey Williams. How do you feel about this?
I honestly was shocked.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is a joke. Because to me, it felt like, remember when we signed, quote unquote, signed Abby Wambach?
Yeah.
And then it just
held her rights.
Yeah, but like it didn't happen. I was like, something weird going on here. I don't know if I trust this, but it's happening.
Yeah, I was just like, I hope this is a thing. And then it like was confirmed, and we were like, oh my God.
Huge.
Excellent signing.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I have not always been her biggest fan in the past.
I would say you usually say that when it comes to the national team picture. I don't feel like I hear you being super, I don't know.
I mean, there's no way I could be critical of her in the NWSL space.
Yeah.
Because you can't. She's the leading goal scorer of all time.
Yeah.
And I really liked her interview when they were when she was talking to Sam Mewis about the trade, where she was saying, you know, like her style of play and how it can help the team, because she'd seen how the team struggled, you know, without that pace up top, being able to stretch the line, those sorts of things. So I think it's a really good signing, and I think it's she offers a lot that we were missing.
It's nice to hear somebody understand like where our weaknesses are and wanting to kind of fix that for us, because you know, she was like, you know, the Reign weren't good this last season, but but the year before that she played against us in the championship. Between her and Midge, they just tore us apart. So, you know, now we'll have one piece at least on our side.
If you beat them, join them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. If you beat them, let's go try to make them better. I don't know. I think there's been some criticism or concern, I guess, about her age and her health. I think those are very fair things. This contract, though, is only going through the end of 2025. So I don't know that you're committing to a lot. You're not having to, like, if something does happen with injury or whatever, we're not really going to be screwed for a while. And if it does work out, get an extension going. And I think we've seen her kind of starting to push past a lot of those injury woes she was having. So I think it'll work out. I'm hoping it'll work out. And if she stays healthy, I think this will definitely be one of the best signings we could have made in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, if you look within last season, she was incredible. And even over the Olympics, right? I didn't have her on my roster, but she was an alternate and then had to, you know, step up, and she did that.
She did. I didn't think she was going to be that good either. You know, as an alternate, I was just like, she's coming kind of late and hasn't really kind of been in her peak fitness. I don't know, but she did it.
I think it kind of says something with this signing as well. Like with the national team, she had something to prove. And I don't think that necessarily she has anything to prove to the league itself. But if she can come in, and along with other players that, you know, we'll be able to pick up, if she can turn the team around,
Yeah.
that would be just another accolade for her.
I mean, she spoke about how this is a challenge for her and she welcomes a challenge. This isn't like she's coming into a built super team or like they're bringing in players to build a super team around her. This is not the situation for that. But we are talking about somebody who's won 4 NWSL championships, was a leading goal scorer for the league, and she was the MVP in 2016. Yes, it was a while ago, but you won 4 of those championships with 3 different teams. Not a lot of people can claim that.
No.
I would imagine maybe none can claim that. I'm pretty sure she's the only one that has 4 NWSL championships. And the fact that she's done it with 3 different teams, I think just speaks to like she's a winner, she's a gamer, and anything less than that is gonna not be good enough for her. So I think, bringing someone in like that has that winning mentality, and given that we have a lot of young players on our team, they're gonna kind of be able to see someone like her with that work ethic and with that drive and what's needed with that mental aspect to take this team, to a different level.
We finally have a national team player again.
A U.S. national team player.
A U.S. national team player.
I was like, let's not discredit.
No, we've got others.
We do have
Plenty of
others.
others.
Well, plenty. They're kind of dropping.
We got youth national teamers.
We do.
We got 2 of those.
We do have some future U.S. national team players for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. The trade details. Do you want to go over those?
Yeah. So not only did we get Lynn Williams, I think kind of the black sheep of this trade is going to be Cassie Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Lynn Williams, but then they threw in Cassie Miller, I guess. I don't know why that was, but we need a goalkeeper.
Yeah, we need a goalkeeper.
And we had to say goodbye to one of my favorites from last season, Jalen Howell.
Yeah, not what I expected, but we had talked, like, when we heard the Lynn Williams trade was happening, we didn't know who we were trading, and we didn't have a lot to trade with.
No, we were looking at the list and texting each other and being like, oh, we don't have a lot to go on here.
Yeah, and ultimately, I don't know, Jalen Howell's contract is up at the end of 2025. Denver is getting the next NWSL team by everything I've heard. And Howell's from there. I don't see Howell signing an extension with any club when she could go play at her home.
Yeah, and if she does well with Gotham, I mean, she could be like their monumental first signing.
Yeah, absolutely. And she can get a good paycheck too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I did think we were going to build our future around her, and I'm definitely disappointed in not getting to have that anymore. But we have more desperate needs. We have much more desperate needs.
Much more desperate needs.
Especially knowing that there's going to probably be a situation in which Howell wants to go play in Denver.
Yeah, but I think in the shorter term with her at Gotham,
well, Gotham's lost a lot of players.
Yeah, they're kind of in a downfall at this point. There's something going on there, and it's being alluded to, but not discussed. But
the team culture.
Yeah, there seems to be something surrounding team culture that just isn't right at the moment.
Which, like, I think it's an anomaly to have a team culture like the one that the Rain have built with Laura Harvey. And that's something that we can take pride in, I would say.
And we have to think about that when Lynn Williams was talking about this, about coming to the Rain, was like the huge perk for her, right? Like, she's probably the reason that Lynn Williams came here.
Yeah.
And people were saying that, to can Laura Harvey in the middle of the season. No, this is why you don't. And this is why you let her cook.
Yep.
And we said this, towards the end of the season. Maybe it is her, but we got to give her a chance.
We've said it before, but she hasn't had a real off season to do moves that she would normally want to make just because of the sale of the team happening and all of that. Here we are now with our first real off season and our first real big signing. And I think she's starting off pretty well. We definitely have more work to do, but I think this definitely shows we still got ambition, and it can't be understated about how much the culture that Harvey creates is a big aspect to bringing players like her in, like Lynn.
Yeah, people want to play for her.
I mean, speculate how you want to speculate about the team culture at Gotham. Maybe in years down the road there'll be some news of that, but there does seem to be some players kind of like poking the bear with that.
Yeah,
who aren't actually involved with the team, but it will definitely be interesting to see more of what happens with Gotham as the weeks go on leading up to the season, because yeah, they're losing some people. We'll get to the rest of that later. I think part of losing Jalen Howell and being okay with maybe losing her is because the team is looking like Olivia Yacht is maybe going to be healthy and ready to go next season.
I hope so.
I've always liked what I've seen for her. I am extremely biased as a Kent
As are
school
both of us.
as a Kent school district product myself, like Olo. Yeah, I'm rooting for her, and she has been around. It's not like she's disappeared completely. She's had a bunch of stuff going on that's just kind of not been, public. We don't know what's going on still there, but it does sound like they're feeling optimistic about her.
Yeah, I hope so. She was a really big asset to the team.
Hmm.
So back to what I really want to talk about, which is Cassie Miller.
Yeah, we all know you got the goalkeeper, the goalkeeper mind.
Yeah, so she actually played for Sounders Women back in 2016 in the old USLW league. She opted out of the NWSL draft after college and went and played overseas and then signed with Chicago. And then during that weird, we had pandemic. So the US ended up playing in 2021 for the Olympics. That saw Alyssa Nair leave.
Hmm.
And Cassie Miller was the third goalkeeper. She was third string at this point. So she left. And then the second string had an injury, so Cassie Miller had to step up.
Hmm.
She played excellent. They made it to the championship game. She had 2 shutouts leading up to the championship, and they lost 2-1 in overtime. So, and then she went to KC in 2023 and beat out French for the starting spot.
Hmm.
So I think that there's going to be a lot to see there, and I'm really excited about it. I think that there's also something to be said where she was training with the league's best goalkeeper last year.
Maybe the world's best women's goalkeeper last year.
Yeah. So you know what it takes, and you've
Yeah.
seen how she works,
Yeah.
and that only can add value to you.
Yeah, I mean, you've spoken about it at length, and how we need some real competition for Claudia Dickey, and this is it. I think maybe some people don't think this might be it, but it is.
It is. Her decision making, I watched like 2 hours of Cassie Miller reels today, tape, and her decision making is so quick.
Mhm.
She's confident, and I like the way that she moves. And what I what I kind of guessed, if I had to take a bet, I would say Laura Harvey is very much a favorite person. She has her favorites. So I feel like maybe Dickey will get the start at the beginning of the season,
Sure.
just out of the favoritism, but there's no way she keeps it the whole season.
I think there's definitely a possibility of that happening. Strong possibility, I would say.
Plus, Cassie Miller just married a woman, and we know lesbians are better goalkeepers.
It's a facts. Cooler facts. And Katrin Berger.
Look at him. I know.
Yeah.
Brianna Scurry.
I definitely
Yeah.
I think we got a good trade here, because I mean, I looked at it this way, because essentially what we got is just a long drawn out process, but it was essentially, it ended up being Bethany Balser for Lynn Williams and Cassie Miller, plus having to pay an extra 20K and an international spot for 2025 or whatever. But if you look at Bethany Balser for Lynn Williams and Cassie Miller and only 20K, I think you came away pretty good with that.
I would call that a steal, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you look at how Bethany Balser performed for Louisville for the rest of the season,
It was
on par with the way that she was playing here.
Yeah, I would say it wouldn't have warranted an extension.
No.
Right? Because her contract was up at the end of the year. She's obviously a starter in this league. She just wasn't putting up numbers with our system. I think there's still a possibility of her being able to do that wherever she plays, but it wasn't working for us.
Yeah.
And not at this point. We needed somebody who's a little bit more greedy and fast.
I think the thing that surprised me about this trade is I feel like, whether it be Sounders or Rain, like for some reason, we try and sign players that like you barely heard of and hope that they break out in the league, like a Rui Diaz type situation.
Which, sometimes it hits.
Sometimes it hits. But we keep trying and trying and trying that, I feel like, and it just really hasn't played out the way that we need it to.
Mhm.
So I'm really into this approach of, hey, let's get the big name. That's gonna bring people into seats, and it's only gonna do good things for the team.
I am looking forward to seeing what happens with Haidema getting to play around and train with someone like Lynn Williams. I think this is what she's kind of maybe needed around her for a long time.
It'll take a lot of the weight off of her.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
it'll relieve that stress of, okay, I'm it.
No, yeah, now you've got someone like lean on
We have
her. But
speed.
like
We finally have
yeah.
speed.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like, foaming at the mouth a little bit about this. About the possibilities with what we've got up top. That's been like because we've seen little hints of like what this could be like if we just find that one extra piece up top, someone who actually can like score and who can actually kind of get the ball up top on their own, maybe. I don't know. It's just exciting to me to think about her. We've got Haidama, we've got Montezir. G, I think, is going to have a better season next year with
Yeah.
players like this. Quality is always the thing that Harvey's been talking about not having, and now we have that.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more equality on the field as far as like, okay, we've added a top-notch forward. I wish we could get Huerta back.
Huerta will be back probably in the summer.
Hopefully.
So we just got to put ourselves in a good position because once she gets back, if we're in a decent position, like anything can happen in this league, but I don't want to be too bad in the hole. But we get Huerta back in the summertime, Huerta and Lynn Williams. Ooh, ooh,
Music to my
need to see that.
ears.
Yeah, I need to see that. So I think that's going to give something for Huerta to want to come back to and be excited about.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully they just win the Champions League or whatever so that she feels accomplished and can be done with that chapter.
Done.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about players that are leaving.
Free agents, the status of our free agents that we had. Since we last spoke, I kind of made notes on players that we saw minutes from last season because it didn't really seem worth it to me to talk about. I don't think there was many players that didn't get minutes, as you know, we had a different starting lineup for almost every single game besides one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest name that is not going to be returning that we know of now for free agent is Zara King. I think this one hurts on a personal level.
Yeah.
Just because she's seemingly a wonderful person. And obviously, she is married to someone who has a long history with our team as well in Fishlock. Didn't know what was going to happen with her, but the production numbers, they're not good.
Mm-mm.
They're worse than I realized.
Oh, I knew it.
6 goals in 4 seasons. You can't have that for somebody who's playing up top.
Granted, most of them were bangers.
She does have a good foot on her.
Yeah.
Like she's got some skill. It's just
I'm wondering if she's gonna come on into the organization in some sort of like ambassador role.
I would like that. 'Cause then she stays in the area.
Yeah, maybe get her like doing the halftime interviews or
Yeah, I mean they definitely need to up their marketing. Like I think they're starting to invest a bit more into the marketing now that they have the funds to do that. So I could see her being brought on for that. We don't really have like a former player doing that kind of thing for the club either. So
No.
why not King?
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And it sounded to me, she said she's not returning to the Rain, but I think she's
The letter was kind of ominous that she posted on Instagram.
Mhm.
Find it really quickly. It says, no matter where life takes me next, I know I'm entering this next chapter with so much perspective and the most full heart. What an honor to play for this club for these past 4 years. Can't wait to continue to lead with love and joy in my next journey. So,
I don't think she's gonna play anymore.
yeah, I'm not going to read too far into it. We'll see what happens with it is a bummer to see her. I don't know. Not going to pop up on their socials as regularly, but maybe she will.
That's what I'm saying. Get her on an ambassador role.
Yeah. Next one.
Laurel Ivory,
She has now signed with KC Current.
which is funny. I don't know. I get why she would do that, but they also just signed Lorena.
Well, they signed, well, I'm sure they knew they were going to sign Lorena, but Laurel was, I don't know. It's just, to me, the part that's funny about this is that when we were playing really poorly, I mean, we played poorly most of the season, but there were times when Ivory was in the back because Claudia Dickey had an injury, and I saw some really bad decision making from Laurel Ivory, and she had a pretty good stretch of games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had a very good, I would say, every keeper in this league who's not the starter right now knows that you have a moment, you might get a moment, and you have to seize it, right? She did not seize her moment, I would say, at all. So that's why she didn't get a contract extension. The funny part to me is that she's going to KC, where the backline woes that we were having, she'll be joining Cook. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty clear that Ivory's not going to be starting until Lorena goes out on international duty. So we're definitely going to get more looks at Ivory. She won't be. I don't think she'll be the starter though.
No.
No. The list of free agents that we still don't know what's happening with. We got Olivia Athens, Lou Barnes, Quinn, Nikki Stanton, and Maddie Mercado. Do you got any thoughts on what might happen there?
I have thoughts on what I would like to happen, but
We don't have a lot of roster
no, we
room.
don't. But
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think Quinn's the one that I'm really kind of like waiting and seeing what happens.
yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I would hope that they're working on a deal there.
Lou Barnes, does she want to coach? She is she interested in coaching?
I don't know.
I would think a deal would have gotten figured out with that too by now. But I don't know. It's also the holidays and chilling out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have to decide eventually what they're going to do here. Athens, I would like to see Athens come back, but if that would make room for somebody who was a little more consistent, I'd be okay with that as well.
You bring in Lynn Williams, we need somebody at that level.
Hmm.
And maybe not the position Olivia Athens plays, but I think you're looking at like, okay, this team wants to get big names and we're not fucking around. We had our bad season, but now we're gonna really try to go for it. So
That being said, we need to keep Nikki Stanton.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
That is just a locker room necessity.
If I saw someone be like, I guess the Rain are serious because they, after years of trying to get King, just trying to see if they can make it work with King, I guess they're serious. And they were like, and I'm guessing Nikki will be next. And I was like, how dare you?
How dare you? No.
Don't be surprised if she comes back because,
Do not rip the heart out of this team.
yeah, exactly. Well, I would say Quinn and Stanton are the two that I'm really keeping my eye on because I don't think if Stanton doesn't get a contract here, she's definitely signing somewhere else.
And granted, for her, I think that it might be nice for her to go somewhere where she gets more playing time. Maddie Mercado had some highlight moments this season with not a lot of time, not a lot of playing time.
Hmm.
So that would be a player that I could see going somewhere, but also be exciting to give her another opportunity with the club.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my thoughts on that.
I agree.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes No Sarietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, most notably entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit sounderatheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
Let's go into maybe just some overall roster thoughts. Just to wrap up kind of what's going on here. Goalkeeper situation, we still have a third slot open.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you hope to see with the third slot? Do you still want to see a veteran goalkeeper come in, or do you think these two goalkeepers that we got now are good enough to create some good competition? Or what do you want?
I think I'm pretty happy in this situation we're in. Claudia Dickey's not a bad goalkeeper. She's just not the best that we could have right now. And
Yeah.
I think that Cassie Miller has the ability. I mean, she's 29. She's not new, right? So in a way, you might be with a goalkeeper being 29 years old, you're getting somebody at the start of their heyday of their career.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what she brings. And I think that, like I said, that could be like the dark horse of this trade.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen from her these last, years, she is a vocal leader on the team. And that's what was lacking in the goalkeeper core from last year was that leadership role. You saw it all the time with McLaren and Dickey yelling at each other in the back because nobody was making a decision. And you need someone back there that's going to be decisive and lead the back line. I think that she has the ability to do that. And I think that it's going to be exciting to watch her kind of grow and maybe come into her own here.
Cool. I think you're spot on with that. Moving on to midfield, I'm still nervous about this. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We're relying on Fishlock. G, we're hoping kind of, I don't know, figures things out a little bit quicker and stays consistent. Like I said, we lost Howell. if Ola comes back, it's going to take her a while to get back up to speed with this league. So I just don't know if that's really going to work all the way. So I don't know. That's the part where I still feel pretty shaky about.
Yeah.
I guess we still have the one thing I do feel good about still is our young players. I think there was some worry that with this trade we were gonna maybe lose some of these probably future stars of the league. We didn't. We still got them, and I feel very good about what we've got in Bug and what we've got in McCammon, and we'll definitely be seeing more from Adames, and that has me very, very excited.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be training with Lynn Williams. So let's learn how to win championships with the champion herself.
Yeah. I'm just way too excited about this.
Yeah. Forward situation, I think we talked about it, so I don't think we need to cover that. I feel good about this. I think we could maybe bring in another piece. I think one of our main issues still is trying to figure out how to fill Huerta's role until she comes back, which I know Latsko kind of helped fill in.
Yeah, we also picked up Madison Curry.
That's right. That was a big get from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about her, but it sounds like we really got one of the best free agents on the market.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I also don't know much about her, but good get from Angel City from what I've read.
I think we've got a lot here that's happened in this brief period of being off and before the season starts to be excited about. I think we got a lot to be excited about.
And we'll get to see a lot of it pretty soon.
Have you figured out if that's streaming anywhere? A lot of this preseason stuff doesn't get streamed like I would like it to. But you can get tickets if you want to go to Coachella. They're playing Bay FC and Angel City FC in the Coachella Valley Invitational, which will be taking place during the international window. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to get to see clips yet of Lynn Williams, I assume, with the rest of the team playing in some sort of scrimmages and whatever. But we'll get to see the young players.
Yeah.
Got that to look forward to.
I mean, it would be kind of cool to go down there. I actually kind of looked into it. The fields are back to back or like side to side, side by side.
Oh, interesting.
So you can watch both games.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can pay for us to do that sometime. Not this year. Next year.
VIP tickets for one weekend are $500.
Well, that's not bad.
Mm-mm.
It's pretty affordable. I think maybe
free drinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a covered area.
Maybe 2026 we can look into it.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be the first time we'll be able to see these players February 26th or February 16th, excuse me. And then against BFC and then February 22nd against Angel City.
Anything else you want to wrap up on the rain before we get into some community questions?
No, I am just hope we can get Lynn Williams the ball.
I think that'll be fine. She will figure it out. We kind of had some questions that they're not just kind of like fun questions, trying to keep it light and fun. But we got a couple of questions that we have gotten, just two for now. If you ever got anything, you can send us an email. You know, we love an email. Feel free to do that. But we figured this would be a good place to kind of maybe respond to stuff like that. So we got first question from JB. Sent us an email. I think we all knew the club would struggle in a post-Rapinoe world, but I certainly didn't think the transition would be this difficult, although it was certainly hampered by the change in ownership. If you could make one big signing this offseason to try and fill this enormous hole, who would it be? Both someone if you were just dreaming and someone plausible. Do you want to go over yours first?
Yeah, I had two. The Chewinga sisters. Temwa and Tabitha.
Yeah. I think many people are dreaming of that.
Oh god, that would be insane.
Yeah. Do you have a plausible one?
This might be a reach for plausible, but Mary Fowler.
I almost put her.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
She's playing well in the Super League right now. She's young, obviously, Australian royalty.
Yeah. Does she want to come play in the NWSL? Maybe.
Probably not. I don't know.
Maybe, right? She's Australian. There's like all Australians come over here.
Yeah.
If you want to be tested, Mary Fowler, you got to come over here.
Yeah.
We all know that the league over there really isn't. It's not as wild as this one.
No, not as wild at all.
So, do you want to challenge?
We'd love to have you in Seattle.
Yeah, come to Seattle. If you want to challenge, but like want to be on the best team, come to Seattle.
You want to come play with Lynn Williams?
Yeah, my dream. I did take some time to think about it, but my dream two players would be Linda Caicedo. I don't think that's
I totally agree with all of yours. I was just like, I saw you put that, and I went, oh, yes.
Yeah, Linda Caicedo. And I'm pretty sure that will never happen. Unless like, I don't know, 3 billionaires come into this league or something crazy, which I don't really want. And then my other dream one was Lily Johannes, obviously. You're an idiot if you don't choose her. Also, the Reign could use a midfielder like that. So
Yeah, we really could. I mean, that would be an exceptional signing.
I'm sure Lily and Laura Harvey have crossed paths. So
Oh, for
like
sure.
maybe this is a plausible one. I don't know. It does feel like a dream one, but maybe it's possible. And then my plausible one that felt actually plausible was Maria Sanchez. I feel like I just like kind of fell in love with her as a person on the off season.
Same.
But yeah, but she also has ties to Idaho, so I feel like maybe it'll eventually happen.
Get Huerta to talk to her and get her
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Get her closer to her family, all of that, because there's no closer place to Idaho than here for the NWSL at least. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be a fun signing. And the oh my god, I just saw what you fucking wrote. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I did not read this first. Oh my god. You're gonna get so many people mad. The second question I had gotten from a friend a long time ago, my friend Allie, she had posted this somewhere, but she was wondering who our dream guest to interview is. I'm gonna say mine first because Vans is so out of pocket. Mine is obviously Megan Rapinoe. I don't think I need to elaborate at all on that. And then my second one is Michelle Betos. And I think I would love to hear from her just because she's been with so many teams. I would love to hear all the stories that she has from being wherever she was at and kind of just what it's like to be a player with the kind of role that she has. After, because I met a guy over last weekend or whatever.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a weird role player, but he never quite made it to MLS level. And just hearing his stories, I just like have this like deep appreciation for people that maybe don't always kind of get the spotlight all the time. And so I think that was kind of like, fuck, I really want to talk to Michelle Betos about her experiences. So, and Van, who's your who's your dream guest interview?
Hope Solo.
Oh my god.
Just for like the pure like shock jock in me. Like, I mean, the woman has had quite the life.
Yeah, it's true.
And I just think that there's a lot there that would be really interesting to ask about.
Okay. So yeah, I mean I would say we're definitely big. We respect Hope Solo's game a lot.
Oh yeah. She's the best goalkeeper the United States has ever seen, and I will stand by that.
Yeah.
On the field.
Yes. Which we all know the team is not made up just what you do on the field. So all right, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. Thanks, Van, for wrapping it up with that. On the rain. For the rain. We want to thank the doctor's office. This winter holiday episode is brought to you by the doctor's office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our very first sponsor.
With their limited edition holiday themed cocktails like a spiked eggnog, there is no better place to grab a drink and chat with a fellow rain fan about the off-season moves this winter and get away from your family.
That's right.
Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. There has been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, because we did our last episode before the final.
Yeah, we did. So we want to start this with congratulating Marta and Orlando Pride, and also us, the #1 Orlando Pride fans.
Yep.
It's funny because I was listening to one of the latest episodes of Lobbing Scorchers, and they were talking about how they've been like LA Galaxy stans all season, basically, and they were like, people were joking with them about being an LA Galaxy podcast. That's kind of been the case with us in the Pride.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? We were right. So
we were winners in a certain sense.
We kind of sometimes know what we're talking about. Yeah, no surprises there. Congrats to Orlando and congrats to Marta, especially. Just want to get that up.
Her mom at the game.
I know, her mom at the game. So sweet.
I loved it.
Yeah, we can move on from that because it's been a while. But there has been, we talked about how there's been a lot of movement with Gotham and there's been a big shakeup going on there. They have lost probably their best player from the last season. I mean, they didn't lose her because they got $400,000 for it, which is kind of a lot of money, but they lost Yasmin Ryan, and then but right before that, Delaney Sheehan, who was a free agent, went to Houston. So now they're both going to be playing for Houston.
Yeah.
Houston might be cooking.
Houston's kind of cooking.
I will say I still feel a little skeptical given what happened with Maria Sanchez.
Yeah,
that I'm just not sure if this is actually like going to be the utopia that it seems like it might be, but we'll see. We'll see.
I wonder if part of me has like this idea that maybe Gotham, brought in that dream team, right? and kind of kicked down a bunch of players from the season before. And I think that this is just kind of a product of that.
Yeah, I don't think it's not a sustainable way to build a roster at all. That's what we're seeing the effects of. They need to come up with money fast.
Yeah, but I think that's also why they're dumping them, because
they have to.
They were probably breaking the rules.
Yeah, we haven't seen the books. We don't get to know anything. It's kind of annoying. You know, we gotta maybe get Midge Purse next. That's the other thing that I have note of, is we don't know where Midge Purse is going yet. If Gotham doesn't lock that down, I think they're gonna have some real problems. I would say that the way that they're liquidating players, it makes it seem like they're going to make a deal to her, which is very unfortunate, because I was really, really wanting us to get Midge, especially since she's coming off ACL, right? So like, part of me was just like, well, maybe Midge wants to mix it up, and now that we got Lynn, maybe she wants to come like over here and like recover.
I'd be into it.
Yeah, I'd be into it too, especially if it was going to cost too much money.
Honestly, we probably have money to spend.
I think we do.
We're low on international spots, but we probably have the money.
That's one I would fucking like love to see us get.
You texted me this the other day. You were like, I just want to know what's going on with Crystal Dunn.
Mystery. I don't even want to speculate, because I just really don't know what to say about it. But if she has not been around, and that is another player that Gotham brought in that we thought was going to be such a big part of it, something to keep an eye on, I would say.
Definitely.
The other thing I had for the NWSL, I had made a brief note, just because as Rain fans, we have some slight experience with having a stadium that is owned by the public school systems. So Boston, who, thank God, they have decided to change their name and branding. We don't know what the reveal is going to be, but it's not going to be Boss Nation is no longer.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I was looking at my notes when I sat down here, and I have notes that say steel balls. Boston loves its balls. No balls necessary.
Oh my God.
That stupid video they did.
That was so bad. Yeah, so we can at least be happy that that is no longer a thing, but there's some slight complications, I would say, with the stadium. And I would love to have somebody on that maybe has a little bit more of a deeper understanding on the White Stadium in Boston, and kind of the controversies, I would say, that have kind of been brought up with this funding and the ownership and all of the stuff going on there. But the White Stadium, where Boston is going to be having the NWSL team playing, is owned by the Boston Public School System. I believe it's the ownership or whoever it is going to be funding like a fuck ton of money into the stadium, but they're also going to be having taxpayers foot some of the bill, which has now been doubled from what I've read of how much they were originally quoted. But I think the idea is that like the public schools are going to have a great fucking place to play, which they have not had.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. However, there's definitely some restrictions for the NWSL team, which include they can only have 2 weekend matches a month. That is, so like they can have Wednesday games, and that's fine. But the games also need to end by 11:30 p.m. at the latest. Which, like, I don't know if you've ever tried to watch games on the East Coast and stuff like that in the summer, and I mean, I guess the Midwest too, but sometimes there's like weather delays and shit. And I'm like very curious to see how this is all going to play out. But obviously the priority is going to be for the public schools.
Yeah, I mean, they own it.
And so there's been some people that are upset about this, and that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, what else? The other thing I wonder about is the game day experience. Because that was a problem for the Rain for years at Memorial Stadium, because Memorial Stadium, obviously owned by Seattle Public Schools. For the first 2 years, they couldn't sell alcohol. And then it transitioned to where there was a beer garden behind the seats, so you couldn't even see the game. You had to go like chug a beer halftime. So I don't know what that's going to look like for them, and I hope it works out for them. But it sounds like it's a mess, and I'll dig deeper into it when we get more information. But it's
a pretty big park that it's into. So there's been a lot of people that have been upset about like what the effects of that are going to be. Congestion wise, obviously. I mean, it's this thing. It's a stadium in a city. Like it's always going to have some fucking issues, no matter what. But I do think some of the concerns that people have brought up are pretty valid. If anybody knows anybody in Boston who's like familiar with what's going on with this stadium, I would love to talk to them.
Yeah, come on the pod. We'd love to talk to you.
Next, I think that's pretty much all we got for the NWSL, at least directly related to the teams. Other stuff going on in the women's soccer world, though. We got 2 big retirements to the national team, U.S. national team.
Yeah, one hit me harder than the other, honestly.
Becky Sauerbrunn, icon, legend,
just all around
great human.
Good human, cat lady. I love her.
And then the other was Alyssa Nair announcing her national team retirement, at least.
Yeah. So we'll still see her in the NWSL this season, but
when she announces her club retirement, she's probably also not gonna have a big fanfare either.
she's not a big fanfare person.
No, she's not, and that's why I love her.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that makes her great.
Yeah.
Another big news dropped regarding the next Women's World Cup as to the media rights, which got sold to Netflix. So we will have to watch all of the Women's World Cup on fucking Netflix. This is absurd. I'm sorry.
It's fucking crazy. Like, there should have at least been a deal where like some of it was gonna be available on like local TV.
How am I gonna go to the bar and watch a Netflix game?
Yeah. I have no idea how the fuck this is gonna work for bars. They're gonna have to be doing something to like partner with all these sports bars or something. But like, you've just made like the women's game even more like difficult to access.
Yeah, it's the opposite of growing the game.
Yeah, it's like it's not completely as bad as the Apple TV deal for MLS, but like it kind of reminds me of that, where you're not going to see growth. But at least they had some fucking games that were still on like some channels that were accessible to people, or they had free games. Or is that going to be a thing? Probably not, because their whole thing is a subscription model.
Yeah. I mean, people were pointing out that at least on a personal level, it is cheaper than, a cable subscription or something to that sense. But okay, so currently the cheapest subscription for Netflix is $15.49 a month. I looked on Amazon the other day, and the cheapest antenna, which would let you access, local channels, you're going to get ABC, NBC, CBS, the cheapest antenna you get on Amazon was $9.69.
Nice.
So
been waiting to get that one in.
And so it's not, Netflix isn't cheaper.
Roughly $16 a month. So you get the whole entire World Cup for $16. That's a pretty good deal.
You know what's free though? To walk into a bar.
Well, I'm probably spending more than $16 in one sitting at the bar, if we're being honest.
Me too.
But that's not the point. I like, they're talking about growing the game and accessibility, and this is making it difficult. So if I would say for the fan that's like kind of a sicko like you and me, we're definitely able to watch it no matter where it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're talking about being able to like go watch, let's say, the men's World Cup, you walk into any fucking bar, they're gonna have it on the fucking TVs, and now you've made that step harder for people to watch the women's game. So I don't know if they've got some sort of plan on how they're gonna get this out to bars, then great. But
I wonder if they'll put like a Netflix channel on like cable networks.
Maybe. Definitely doing more of this sports stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, and they're really bad at it.
Well, that's Beyonce was on one, so then the Beyonce performance was great.
Yeah, but they didn't have sound for.
I didn't watch the
one
game.
Of the. Yeah, when they started.
I heard they started it.
It was just playing the music and the woman's talking and you can't hear her, and it's like okay.
They've got a little bit of time to figure it out, not long. So hopefully they work out these kinks.
Yeah, hopefully.
But will the Beyonce be playing at halftime? That's the question I have.
Beyonce in Brazil?
Why not? Great joy of being a women's soccer fan once again. Obviously, we're a little bit more engaged with the USLW van specifically, but I would say I've gotten some knowledge of the inner workings and how it goes. But with Ballard getting their team, and definitely some more, like West Seattle has a team now. Who else got some teams in the area in Seattle?
Snohomish.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing a lot more USLW stuff going on for sure. And I think we want to, because Van knows so much about it.
I do.
Yeah, maybe have an episode kind of just, I don't know, explaining it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I would say it's a newer league. It's definitely different. It's not, I would say I feel like there's been some misconceptions about what it is. And we want people to enjoy these teams, but I think it's important to know kind of how the model works and how the league works.
Yeah.
Because it is a fun league to follow.
It is fun.
It's a pretty professional league, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not even semi-pro. A lot of people will mistakenly say that, but semi-professional still cannot pay players to play in pre-professional. and that has to do with most of them are Division I college players, at least in my team, in FC Olympia. So they can't be paid to play. But yeah, so it's cool. You get people in from all over the country. We're gonna have a big mess of really, really good college players and some post-college players, some pre-college players that are going to be playing in the Pacific Northwest this year, and it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is try to, if you're interested, if whatever you want to kind of learn more about the league, we're gonna try to do an episode kind of with a little bit more of a deeper explanation and kind of stuff. I don't know, teams and regions and how all that's kind of formatted. We'll kind of do a little explainer before the season kicks off so that you at least feel like you have a little bit of an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, and it's also cool because the games are free to watch. So it's a really good thing to be able to tune into and watch some soccer.
Plus, like, I don't know, it's so rare that we get rivalries like this close to each other that it just like kind of adds to the spiciness of it, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because Van's team that she's the GM of, FC Olympia, I would say they're like the first team in the state. They're the OGs of this. So you're gonna be hearing from the OG. She's actually 88 years old. Van is 88 years old. But it hasn't been around that long. So now we're kind of like seeing the growth pick up, and so that's fun. And I want people to go support the teams that are in their areas and kind of get the growth going everywhere. So
yeah.
And moving on from that, I just wanted to also take this time to congratulate Van, who has been appointed the USLW League Executive of the Northwest Division. That is a mouthful.
It sure is.
So yes, we have some biased takes here. Just putting it out there. What were you doing last year? Didn't you get some sort of big title?
Yeah, this is like at the tail end of last season.
Oh, okay.
But this is going on my third season in USLW. So
yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Okay. Well, you have anything else you want to shout out?
Shout out to my cat for not getting bird flu.
So far.
Dude, I'm really worried.
Yeah, I have my virologist friend, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Angie Rasmussen. Shout out Angie. I will say shout out Angie because she's like, I never realized that this person who I went drinking with before a Seahawks game was like this crazy genius virologist. And then she like pops up on CNN and shit. And then we had a whole fucking pandemic. And I was like, oh shit, it's our time to shine. If you want someone good to follow for that kind of shit, she's like covering what's going on with this bird flu stuff. And it does not sound good from her perspective. And that always has me worried.
Anyway,
if you want, you can follow us on the internet. We're on Bluesky, the Cooler Guild.
We're on Instagram at Cooler Guild Pod. You can email us. We love an email. thecoolerguild@gmail.com.
You can find us on our Sound at Heart link, soundatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. If you want, right now is a great time to gift a subscription to Sound at Heart to a friend or yourself. There is a gift option on there, so now you can help a friend out, support some independent soccer media.
Yeah, if you know somebody that likes soccer and you want them to get a little more out of it with the wonderful coverage that all of Sounder at Heart and Red Valkyries does, gift them a subscription.
Yeah, and if you sign up for what is it, the $74 a year tier, maybe it's $75 a year tier, there's a tier where you get access to the Discord, and that's the nicest thing you could do for a friend. Get them access to the Discord.
It's a great Discord.
I think it's gonna wrap it up for us for now, and then we'll figure out when there's more news going on to do another episode. So
hope everyone had a good holidays. We'll be back again soon.
Next year.
Stop.
We'll be back next year. I don't know. Hope I'll have this edit before then. All right. Goodbye.
Hey, bye.
It's a K, not a C.
I'm going to the eye doctor next month. Okay.
Great.
I already have my window at 120% zoomed. It's a problem.
Might have to get a new host so I can actually see next time.
Oh, good luck.